Hello friends. In this particular discussion, we will talk about the 16th problem from the objective section of test of mathematics. Now the problem number may vary because the edition that I'm using, you might not be using the same version. So anyway, the statement of the problem is this, that we have an expression which looks like 1 plus q times 1 plus q square up to 1 plus q to the power 64. So the powers or the exponents are 2, so 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. So basically the exponents are precisely the powers of 2. Now, it's also given that q is not equal to 1. So we have to find a condensed form of this expression. It's quite a simple problem actually if you know what to do. First, set this expression equal to, so I'm not writing the entire thing, equal to some t. So t is something that we want to find out. So we want to find t. Now, what we will do is we will multiply both sides of this equation by 1 minus q. Let's do that. So multiply both sides of this equation by 1 minus q. Alright, so now let's make some simplification. So 1 minus q times 1 plus q is 1 minus q square. Then we have 1 plus q square, 1 plus q to the power 4, and so on up to 1 plus q to the power 64. At this point, you should pause the video and try it yourself because I have already given you most of the clues. Okay, so now the same simplification process will continue. So 1 minus q square times 1 plus q square should give you 1 minus q to the power 4. Then we have 1 plus q to the power 4 up to 1 plus q to the power 64. So at every step, I'm using the formula a plus b times a minus b. A plus b times a minus b is a square minus b squared. Okay, so like this it will continue, and the last step would be 1 minus q to the power 64. 1 minus q to the power 64 times 1 plus q to the power 64 equal to t times 1 minus q. So we will have 1 minus q to the power 128 equals to t times 1 minus q. So remember, our goal was to find out t, which was equal to this expression. This is a standard problem solving strategy. Whatever you want to find out, set it equal to a variable or a symbol and do the processing, and at the end of the processing make sure that you have that symbol alone at one side of the equation. So divide by 1 minus q now. See, we can do this division because our problem says that q is not equal to 1. Since q is not equal to 1, 1 minus q is not 0. Q is not equal to 1 implies 1 minus q is not 0. So we can do this division. Division is allowed. And we get the final answer. T is equal to 1 minus q to the power 128 divided by 1 minus q. So this is the final answer. Alright, so option A is the correct answer. Thank you for watching, and the link in the description has more problems and discussions like this.